Hello everyone, I'm Captain NakedPanda, and today we will be analyzing the powers of the Memo Memo no Mi and see if we can actually deduct possible techniques and applications of this devil fruit. But to give you a small heads up, in my opinion, the Memo Memo no Mi has the potential to be very powerful support devil fruit. And yes, you heard me right, I emphasized on support, and I'll explain that in this video. But first, let me say a huge thank you to MariaBlueNeko for the amazing art. Go check her Deviantart gallery. It's really amazing. You can find the link in the description below. And now that we are done with that, it is time to gear up. As I mentioned in the intro, we'll be talking about the powers of the Memo Memo no Mi. And let's just jump straight into it. As suggested by the name, the user has the ability to manipulate memories, and the current owner is Charlote Pudding. So first, let's start with the analysis of the powers that we have already witnessed in the manga. What we have seen from Pudding until now, and the way that she uses her devil fruit, we can clearly distinguish two techniques. One is flashback, and the other is edit. Flashback seems to bring old memories back, and on first sight this seems not really impressive. But if we think more carefully, we can also notice that the homies, which were the target of that technique, have completely forgotten that they're actually homies. Does this mean that the flashback technique erases temporary or recent memories up to a certain point? If this power has no drawbacks, or a way to defend yourself against it, the user can erase temporary or recent memories anytime to get out of a sticky situation. Plus, we saw that it can be applied on a big number of targets at the same time. Imagine a massive battlefront like Marineford, and you use flashback technique on big number of marines or pirates, making them forget for the next minute or so why they're there, forgetting their whole training or the whole battle strategy maybe. In that 1 minute you can turn the tides of the battle completely. This looks really overpowered, so it must have some kind of weakness, and in my best guess is that it works only on people with weak spirits, or maybe weak state of mind, and the closest thing to describe it would be how the Conqueror's Haki works. The weak drops under the pressure, while the strong are unaffected, or at least not significantly affected. And probably the best scene from One Piece to visualize that is when Shanks met with Whitebeard and half of the crew just passed out. But if there is no weak side to that technique, this will be way too powerful for one person. After I have clarified that flashback can be a really strong technique, I want to focus on the other technique that we have seen, which is named edit. The way this technique is working is reaching into people's head and dragging their memories as a picture film. With the film drawn out, we see that Pudding can edit the film to remove or add new memories. We have seen that in two situations. First time with Reiju, and the second time with the chefs in the sweet factory. And there is an interesting fact when this technique is used. In both cases we can see that when the film is pulled out of the victim's head, they seem to be immobilized for the period of the editing. This seems as a super powerful stalling or immobilizing tactic, but in this case at least the weak point of the ability is more obvious. In order for a technique to work, you need to catch your victim off guard, which is not really easy, especially with the pirates in the New World having observation hacking and so on. However, Pudding's acting ability fits perfectly with these powers and compensate for the drawback. So she can win your trust and then do whatever she wants when your guard is down, as she already did that a couple of times in the story until now. So, until now we have seen Pudding cutting out memories and importing new ones. But with these specific two actions, a third technique should be theoretically possible. and that would be a transfer of memories between two hosts. How the process will work is probably extracting the film from host 1, which we'll call the source, and looking into his or her memories. Then cutting out or copying the necessary memories and putting the film back. Then extracting the film from host 2, which we'll call the receiver, and looking into his or her memories. And finally importing the memories from the source to the receiver. This is as well a very interesting supportability. Imagine if Jack had such a devil fruit user when he was torturing the minks in order to tell him where Raizo is. Just capture one mink, pull out his memories, search for the right moment, and voila! There is no secrets for you anymore. And this is only one application of the edit technique. So let's go and investigate what other options there could be. Consider if the devil fruit user can really cut out and combine memories. Can Pudding actually transfer knowledge as well, since knowledge is kind of a memory? To make a simple example, and since we are in Whole Cake Island now, let us use something related to cooking. Imagine that you have two people. One who is good at making sweets but nothing special, and one who is a master of making sweets and has knowledge and experience gathered for the past 10 years, let's say. So, if it is possible to transfer the key knowledge from the master chef to the average one, the average chef can rise his level of proficiency in a matter of seconds, and the master chef in that instance can become a beginner if his memories are totally cut out. Now, imagine if we apply the same logic to fighting and the usage of your devil fruit. Can one receive knowledge and hints on how to improve control over his devil fruit? In my opinion, it should be possible as long as there are similarities between the devil fruits and the knowledge transferred. And let me explain that. For example, if a Zoan type devil fruit user received knowledge from Logia type, the Zoan can't really use this knowledge for anything. But if two similar Paramecia type users are involved, I think the receiver can benefit from the knowledge transfer. To sum it up, a knowledge that usually takes years of practice can be copied in an instance from one person to another. Don't you think this is really overpowered supportability? And probably now it's a good time to ask, is it coincidence that Katakuri's devil fruit is very similar to Luffy's? Is it a coincidence that Katakuri copied all the devil fruit based attacks from Luffy, emphasizing how similar their powers are? Is it also a coincidence that Katakuri has his devil fruit awaken? So what happens if in some weird twist of events Katakuri unintentionally shares his devil fruit knowledge via this memory transfer with Luffy? Can Luffy receive some kind of hints for his awakening? Or if we have to go for a more probable outcome, could Luffy learn something for Katakuri's past, which makes Katakuri lose his focus and temper, similar to when Katakuri's mouth was revealed? Could Luffy actually use that in order to defeat Katakuri? Maybe. But I want to agree that there is one flaw in this process. The Memo Memo no Mi user needs to know exactly what is the thing that she is searching for. So, if you don't know that, the process might take very long time. And even though the process should be possible in theory, based on the scenes from the manga, this process is not necessarily the most effective one if you don't know what you're searching for. So let's see if we can see another option for this situation to occur. So edit and flashback are the only two verified techniques shown until now, and the possibilities based on them have been discussed. But we definitely know that Pudding has more than two techniques. Then if I have to speculate and make an educated guess based on the edit which requires physical touch to edit someone's memory, and flashback which affects the people around you without physical contact, maybe we can combine these two techniques and come up with another technique for Memo Memo no Mi. And I actually have an idea about such technique. and I have called it Memo Link or Memory Link. This technique could allow you to link 2 or more minds together and see each other's memories like your mind is traveling through a tunnel of memories, for example. This technique makes sense if you have to search for something that is not specified exactly and you don't know the exact moment of the event. Then you might ask, what is the difference between the edit and the memory link? Well, in the edit version, you physically extract the memories like a film, which might take too much time. But when you dive with your consciousness using the memory link in the other person's memories, you can speed up the process since brainwaves travel with much faster speed. Plus, with this technique, it might be possible to link the memories of the people around you and not only the Devil Fruit user memories and her target. If we assume that this technique works in a similar way as the edit, the people with the linked minds should be mobilized for the moment while the link is in progress. And the drawback of it could be that the Devil Fruit user is also immobilized, similar to how Brooks is removing his soul from his body, or how Perona is projecting her spirit out of her physical body. Now that I have let my mind run wild for a bit, let me speculate a little bit more about the possibilities with this kind of technique, and tell me what do you think after I'm done. With the memory link, people can experience each other's memories similar like a dream. And from science point of view, dreams can be as limited as few seconds, but so many things can happen in your dream that it feels like the dream has lasted for hours. And that is because your brain works in completely different speed. Then, if we apply this logic to the memory link technique, one can share or experience a long period of time which feels like days, months, or even years, but actually only a few minutes have passed. If I have to describe this in a shonen logic, it might be similar to Dragon Ball Z and the Chamber of Spirits and Time, where Goku went to train in order to power up for a short amount of time, since the time in the chamber runs on a different speed from the outside world. Then, if this memory link happens between Luffy and Katakuri for some reason, could Luffy receive vital information about awakening? Or at least something to help him in the fight against Katakuri? I think this kind of forced power-up could make sense because of several reasons. The first one is that obviously Luffy cannot defeat a Yonko at his current state, and he will need some kind of fast power-up if he wants to have a chance against a Yonko. Second one is that there cannot be a second time skip for the power-up, due to the short span of the events and due to the fact that half of the crew is already waiting in Wano preparing to take on Kaido. The third one is the similarities between the Thriller Bark and Whole Cake Island. And before we have seen that Lola did a forced power up with Nightmare Luffy, and this time it might be actually Pudding helping Luffy. And maybe a fourth one could be that this situation will be a perfect moment to see a backstory for Katakuri and receive an explanation about his scars and his teeth. Doesn't this scenario sound really exciting for you? I don't know, it does for me because I would love a backstory for Katakuri. And I think with these 4 reasons, I'm ready to let you tell me what do you think about the Memo Memo no Mi. Do you think it is really overpowered based on the power shown? And tell me in the comment section below what kind of new techniques we could see from Pudding. Also, please don't forget to like the video if you have enjoyed it, dislike if you didn't, and subscribe for my future content, because I have more exciting theories coming very soon. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And with that, I would like to wish you an amazing day. The Captain is signing naked and out.